Welcome to my channel. This is JC Rock and Metal Reviews. My name is John, and today I have a new album review from Rob Zombie. The album is called The Lunar Injection Kool-Aid Eclipse Conspiracy. That's a really long album title, probably the last time I'll probably say it in this video. But before I begin, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I do rock and metal reviews, rankings, and a lot more stuff. So please subscribe to keep updated every time I upload, which is pretty much one video a day. So this album, it's his 7th album as a solo artist. But let me just give you a quick brief history of Rob Zombie. So he became very well known in the late 80s and early 90s with the band White Zombie. Now some of their more well-known songs are Thunder Kiss 65 and Black Sunshine. He eventually left the band and he started a solo career. And his first song as a solo artist was a collaboration with Alice Cooper. And that's a song called Hands of Death, Burn Baby Burn. This was from an X-Files inspired compilation. Then he started releasing some more solo albums. His debut solo album was called Hellbilly Deluxe. After that, he went on to direct some movies. So his directorial debut called House of a Thousand Corpses. He's put out many horror movies over the years. And Rob Zombie's sound can be described as like heavy metal with an industrial metal edge. So his albums are mostly horror movie themed, and he really has a love for these old B-movie horror films. You often hear excerpts of old movies in his songs, and the song titles are just always very campy and horror themed. Okay, let me talk about the album. The best word to describe this album is campy. I mean, the titles of the album are all horror movie inspired. It has his signature industrial metal sound, but there's a lot of variety here. There are 17 songs and there's a runtime of 42 minutes. This means there's a lot of instrumental interludes and short clips with spoken word and different movie clips here and there. But it's really just one big campy horror movie package. This album explores a lot of different musical styles, such as bluegrass country and electropop and synth and disco and metal and a whole lot more. I would say that it is his most experimental album, and guitarist John 5 even said that this album would be his Sgt. Pepper and quote, the best zombie record that he's ever done. So I'm just going to talk about a few of the songs. I'll talk about just the major songs. There's a lot of variety, and I'll try to cover as much as I can. I'll try to keep this video under 10 minutes. Back in October, he released a single called The Triumph of King Freak, a crypt of preservation and superstition, and it was released right before Halloween. The song starts off with the spoken word radio broadcast and goes into his signature industrial metal. It has a pretty cool drum beat. There's a Middle Eastern inspired riff. It kind of develops into this industrial sounding rhythm section. It's a very Rob Zombie sounding song and has many sounds creating this House of Horror atmosphere. There are a few sections that sound like old school hip hop beats, and there are a few classic heavy metal riffs and some funk music sprinkled throughout the song. Another song is called The Ballad of Sleazy Rider. This one has a really groovy beat. I really like the electro synth riff on the song. It's a very campy song, and it's a play on the Easy Rider title. I thought that was pretty cool. Another cool song is Shadow of the Cemetary Mar. So this opens with this foot stomping beat and has this industrial rhythm synth section. There are also still a lot of many spoken word passages in the song. Another cool song is called 18th Century Cannibals, which actually has a longer title, but I'm not going to read the whole thing. And this is their bluegrass country song. It still has a Rob Zombie sound, but it's just a big mashup of horror movies and industrial metal and classic country music, and they really pulled it off. It's kind of like a difficult mashup to kind of do, but they really did a good job of blending like these different genres together. The second single released was The Eternal Struggles of the Howling Man. This starts out with some like eerie organ playing, but it develops into like a fast-paced metal song, has some chugging riffs and some really good lead guitar work. I mean, the organ sound in the background creates like this horror-themed atmosphere. There's a really like funky breakdown on the song, and it sounds like it came like right out of the 70s. There's some like sci-fi sounding effects throughout the end of the song, and it just keeps everything very interesting. Another cool song is Satanic Rites of Blacula. So this one reminds me of a horror punk song. The riffs are very like meaty on this one. Next is Shake Your Ass, Smoke Your Grass. This is a very like danceable song. It's about smoking weed. Another classic Rob Zombie song, has some really groovy riffs, and I really like the fuzzy guitar song. Next is Boom Boom Boom. This is a slower song. It's very like funky and has some bluesy like lead guitar work. Rob Zombie has these like strange vocal effects on the song, kind of gives it a very like interesting twist. Then there's Get Loose. This has a very like psychedelic vibe in the beginning, but it picks up, has some really like chugging riffs. A lot of cool Middle Eastern inspired riffs mixed in. There's also a very cool like haunting breakdown towards the end of the song, and has a pretty cool guitar solo. And the final song is Crow Killer Blues, and this is preceded by a short instrumental called The Serenity of Witches. And that particular instrumental reminded me a lot of like Smashing Pumpkins with that like particular like guitar tone. But the song itself starts out with some eerie organ music, goes into like this heavy, almost doom metal riff. The keyboards on the song remind me a lot of like classic Deep Purple also, so pretty cool song, and it ends out the album very well. So in conclusion, before I did this review, I noticed a lot of the other metal channels reviewed this during the day, and I purposely didn't watch their reviews only because I didn't really want their reviews to kind of sway my opinion of this. I can kind of tell from some of the thumbnails that some of them didn't like it. I think some of them did like it. So there's probably a lot of mixed reviews, but I will tell you, in my personal opinion, I liked it a lot. I feel it's just very complete. It's packed with riffs and a lot of different styles of music, just wrapped up in this one like big package. I felt in the past some of like Rob Zombie's songs were kind of a little minimalistic, but I feel there's a lot of like heavy riffs going on here. The album is very good start to finish. It's 17 tracks, and it doesn't really drag at all. It keeps your interest like throughout. I'm not sure where I would rank it as far as like his albums go, but it probably would be in the top half. I still need to listen to some of his other albums. My final score is a 9 out of 10. I enjoyed it a lot, and I think you would all too. That is it. Thanks for watching. Comment below. Let me know what do you think of the album, or what do you think of the singles that you've heard, if you haven't heard the whole album. And that's it. Let me just end it here. Check out my other new releases right there. More new releases coming up, so stay tuned. I'll have another one for you tomorrow. So I will see you then.